I have just recorded the whole video without actually pressing record. That's awesome. Hi, welcome to AAS 353, Filipina and Filipino American Identities. Instead of writing a long, exhaustive email to try to get you started in class, I thought it'd be a little bit more engaging to just create a short video instead. In this video, I want to first and foremost welcome you to AAS 353. It's wonderful to have you in class, and I really do hope that we'll find opportunities to actually meet over Zoom, or at least over Canvas somehow. You'll learn a lot more about what my approach is to teaching this class in the introduction video, but for now, I just wanted to go over the format of the class and some of the syllabus so that I can provide you just a couple of pointers to help you to be successful. The first thing that I need to do is to make clear that this is a fully asynchronous course. You probably already knew that since you signed up for it, but just to be clear, we won't be meeting face-to-face at any point throughout this semester as a class. But of course, I'm always available for office hours on Zoom, and you can find that link and the time on the top of the welcome page on Canvas. Since we won't be meeting as a class, you'll be watching me lecture through a set of videos that you can view through links that I provide in each of the weekly modules on Canvas. These modules will provide an overview for what I'm hoping you'll learn each week, but they'll also include not just the lecture video or videos, but also the assignments that are due each week. As I just mentioned, I recorded a lot of lecture videos for this class, and I'm working really hard to make these videos engaging, but there's still a few that I'm developing since this is actually the first time that this class has been offered fully asynchronously. Now, one of the things that I wanted to emphasize about these lecture videos is that sometimes it'll feel like you're watching any typical YouTube video. You might find yourself losing track of what I'm talking about, or even what you're thinking about when you're watching them. So I really encourage you to watch the lecture videos and listen to them as you would any normal lecture. What I mean by this is that I hope that you'll take notes when you watch. And even though you won't be able to stop and raise your hand and ask me a question, obviously, you can stop and pause the video if something feels like it's unclear. So having said that, I hope that you're actually taking notes while you watch this video. In terms of how the lecture videos are organized, sometimes there'll be one video lecture in the week, and other times I'll divide the lecture into shorter parts. But rest assured, even though the videos aren't completed to my liking, all of the lectures will be posted 2 weeks in advance. This also brings up an important point about the assignments. The assignments will also only be posted 2 weeks at a time. In a lot of asynchronous courses, students really appreciate being able to complete several weeks of assignments all at once. And while that works in some classes, the only way that students will be able to fully engage the core concepts in this course is if you complete the assignments 2 weeks at a time at most. And that's because one of the core elements of this class is this concept of co-learning. If you take a look at the list of assignments that you'll be completing in this class, you'll see something called a digital presentation. You'll also see something called a presentation response. And this is talking about one of the major requirements in the course. Each week, about 4 to 5 students will upload a digital presentation on the weekly course material. I'll explain how to complete this assignment next week, since the first group will be uploading theirs starting week 3. In terms of the groups, I'll randomly create a list of 11 groups, usually made up of 4 or 5 students. Each of you will upload a video presentation about the key points in the reading and lecture for that week. You'll also be talking about personal experiences related to the things that are discussed. And the rest of you can choose to respond to one of your classmates' videos. There'll be 11 of them, 11 opportunities to respond, and if you complete 5 responses, you'll get the minimum credit for completing this assignment. The other major requirements for this class is something called a family history project. We'll also be having a midterm and then a final research paper. We won't be having a final exam in this class. There will also occasionally be smaller assignments due at different times, especially during the first 2 weeks. You can see an overview of all of these assignments by clicking on the course schedule link. And again, you'll have more in-depth directions on each of these assignments, either on Canvas or through another small video explainer just like this one. And the last thing that I want to say about these assignments is that after week 3, the digital presentations are the only assignments that will be due on Wednesdays. Most of your assignments will be due by the end of Sunday each week. For the last part of this video, I want to talk about and just say up front that this class will be discussing quite a lot of sensitive topics. It's a class taught through the College of Ethnic Studies, so we'll obviously be working through issues not only about race and racism, but things like colonialism and colonial violence. But we're also going to talk about things that are maybe a little bit more personal, things like suicide, depression, and even sexual violence. I want you to know that it won't ever feel like I'm talking about any of these topics casually. You'll always understand how they're critical to understanding the course topics each week. But please keep in mind that this is a class about ethnic identity, and more specifically Filipino American identity. So it's impossible to teach this class thoroughly without talking about these super sensitive issues. Now, having said that, please know that I'm always here. I've taught this class for 14 years now, even though this is the first time I'm teaching it asynchronously. And over the last 14 years, there was never a semester where there wasn't at least a couple of students who really needed my support and the support services on campus. So just know that you can send me a message at any point if you're struggling with the stuff that we're discussing in class. Again, welcome. I know that you'll find that this class is fairly demanding, at least in terms of asking that you stay engaged. And that's why there are so many assignments required of you to complete each week. But mostly, I hope this class gives you at least a little bit more insight into how you, your loved ones, or even just your neighbors or classmates experience the world around them. Ingat, take good care.